today I've come round to spend some time on Esther, my ST170 powered Mk1 Escort.
Weather is looking a bit iffy at the moment, a job that I haven't been looking forward to be honest.
And then I might just follow this line down here. Get it onto the engine. Success. Yes.
Might seem a bit drastic cutting these holes, but
then I transferred that template onto some steel and cut that out. All right, after trying to be a fabricator for ages, I think I'm gonna have to start again. I am no fabricator. Hello and welcome to this video. I'm Marcus Hayes and today I've come round to spend some time on Esther, my ST170 powered Mk1 Escort. It's now less than 2 weeks until the Ford show and I'm hoping to take this thing to the event. I've got my own club stand there and I've got 41 cars on the list, including Esther and my beautiful girlfriend Kat's plastic Ford Fiesta that she likes to call Roger. So yeah, really looking forward to the event, really looking forward to checking out everyone's cars and hanging out with a whole load of subscribers on my club stand. If you are on my club stand, I have had the club stand passes through the post from Santa Pod, but I'm just waiting for some exclusive stickers to come through the post that I've had made, which are only going to be given out to you guys that are on my club stand. And yeah, once those stickers come through the post, I'm going to put them and the club stand passes in an envelope and send them all out to you. I think everyone has been in touch now and give me their address, apart from a guy called Jake Fox. So if you're watching and you haven't already, please do send me your address. I want to send a massive thanks out to everyone who jumped on the recent pre-order for the new merchandise. I will get all of your orders out to you as soon as possible, as soon as I get all the bits from the manufacturer. And I've got to send a big congratulations out to a guy called Jeffrey Allen, who won the recent Patreon competition to win one of the new snapback caps and one of the new black t-shirts.
the weather is looking a bit iffy at the moment.
I was round here the other day messing around with her new dash and I've sussed out a few things and I'm hoping to crack on with that in this video, so stay tuned for that. But what I'm going to crack on with now is a job that I haven't been looking forward to be honest, and that is cutting out this gearbox tunnel so that in future, whenever I need to remove the gearbox, it should be a whole lot easier. Fed up of basically removing the engine every time I need to change a clutch. Now, I mentioned in a recent video that I've already marked this out where I think I need to cut. I'm not going to know if I have cut enough out until I sort of trial fit the engine and then try and fit the gearbox while the engine's in situ. So I'm going to fire up the generator, fire up the angle grinder and hack in to Esther's gearbox tunnel. I decided to crack on inside the garage because the weather was looking a bit iffy, and I slowly but surely cut a hole in Esther's gearbox tunnel on the driver's side and the passenger side. Here's the end result, and here are the pieces of metal that I cut out. I then brought Esther out of her garage, got her jacked up, and then reinstalled her engine. Alright, GoPro just switched off, but yeah, I've managed to lift it up and we can see that this tunnel is hitting here and yeah, probably needs a little bit more trim down there as well, and around the other side needs a bit more trimming off as well. I think I may as well go up to here and then I might just follow this line down here, just give myself loads of room. On this side you can see where I drew a line, but I decided to cut less out, so I'll go up to that line and then just follow this sort of swage line here. With Esther's gearbox lowered back down, I hacked away a bit more at her gearbox tunnel with the angle grinder. Then it was a case of lifting the gearbox back up to see if I could get it onto the engine. Success. Yes. All right, I am absolutely drenched. Literally, my beautiful girlfriend Kat is coming to pick me up and I've told her to bring me a towel. Literally been laying in puddles. But I'm so happy that I now know I've cut enough out of the tunnel. Just show you the holes from inside the car. There's the driver's side one. I think what I'm going to do this side is cut a bit more this way, and then that will give me the opportunity to put, like, you know, panel beat this tunnel this way a bit, because on this side around here it's really tight. So yeah, I think if I cut it there, that'll mean I can pull this out a bit easier. But yeah, I know it's might seem a bit drastic cutting these holes, but you know, on this side the pedals and stuff takes your eye off it. I'll just show you the other side. Yeah, on this side there's loads of clearance here. I did sort of beat this part of the tunnel both sides out a bit, but yeah, it's weird on these RX-8 gearboxes. This bit of the gearbox, or the bell housing, needs more room this side, but this area of the gearbox needs more room that side. But yeah, again, I know it looks drastic having a hole here, but you know, with all the wiring and stuff, and you know, the switch panel will be here, you won't notice it. Yeah, the main thing is, moving forward, I can get the gearbox off and back on the engine with the engine in situ, which is going to make life a whole lot easier when I need to change clutches. One thing I really should have done was removed these trumpets, or at least these two middle ones. This one actually got damaged when I removed this engine. But yeah, with me just installing this engine in the rain, you know, it was already basically in the bay before I realised that I should have removed that trumpet. So yeah, I just made it work. Yeah, definitely gonna have to buy at least one more of these trumpets. That one's absolutely mullered, and what's the betting that they only sell them in sets? Hello, into a new day, and thankfully the weather is a lot better than it was yesterday. Now the next step for this job is going to be to remove the engine again, and then I can set about tidying up the holes that I've cut and also enlarging them slightly, and then I can think about actually making up the plates that are going to be welded in to fill those holes. I've already got the hoist out, and this engine shouldn't take long to remove at all. I haven't put any of the nuts on the engine mounts or anything. It's literally just sitting in the grooves on the cross member. But what I am going to do before I remove the engine this time is remove the trumpets. After I'd removed the trumpets, I put Esther up on some wood so that I could get the hoist underneath her. I pulled the engine back out of her bay, got her jacked up properly, and then fired up the generator so that I could tidy up the holes that I'd cut in her gearbox tunnel. Once that was done, I decided to make a cardboard template of the hole on the driver's side. Then I transferred that template onto some steel and cut that out. Then I did my best to manipulate the bit of steel into the correct shape to fill the hole. Alright, after trying to be a fabricator for ages, I think I'm going to have to start again. This is where I got to so far, and the idea was something like this. And it's sort of, you know, getting to be the right shape, but what I realise now is this nice crease that I put in here, although that would look good if I'd sort the rest of it out, what that's actually doing is replacing the metal I've removed for clearance. So if you see the crease is there, but my hole is all the way over here. So yeah, I'm basically going back on myself. What I need is a bit that's going to just literally go from there to there without coming out this way. And this metal that I'm using is actually 2mm, whereas the metal on the car is 1.5mm, and if I had some 1.5mm metal, it'd probably be, well, it would be a lot easier to manipulate into shape. So I don't know whether I should maybe cut this out, which was the plan, and I sort of changed my mind, just so that it's more of a rectangle-ish shape. I don't really want to cut any more off at the top, you know, get any closer to these lines or anything. Don't really want to completely unplumb the car to do this job. But yeah, it might be an idea to cut that off of there, just so that this bit's more, you know, square. So I think I'm going to have a think and decide how I'm going to move forward, and then crack on, and I'll show you afterwards how I've got on. But basically, it's just going to be a load of scratching my head, cutting, banging, and hoping. I am no fabricator. Alright, so I've cut another bit of metal, and yeah, I'm really struggling again, to be honest, but I think I've come up with a plan. So now if I hold that in like that, I'm putting a lot of pressure on it, but it's kind of meeting there. It will kind of meet there, and I've got a nice bend here, which if I was to bang this to meet that, then that would give me more clearance here where I need it anyway. So it might be a case of me just welding this bit of metal, you know, over this side, just to get it so it's in place, and then beating the tunnel to meet this. And then this little corner here, once everything else is sort of tacked in, I should be able to bang that round, although it'll probably need a little bit trimming off it. So, you know, ideally you'd get the shape of the metal right, so it's not under tension, and then weld it in. But it looks like I'm probably going to have to, as I say, sort of weld this side and then bash things to shape and just gradually tack it in. So, yeah, this bit may work. So now I need to try and see if I can come up with some sort of plate to fill this hole. This is way harder than I was expecting. All right, so after hours of trial and error, cutting the metal, checking it, bending it, banging it, cutting the metal, I think I'm getting somewhere. Now I've actually banged both sides a bit more in this area, and this sort of corner piece here I've banged in both sides as well, and I think I've got these plates close. So on the driver's side, it's still going to be a case of me sort of welding one side and then banging things after it's sort of tacked in place. But yeah, this is now pretty much the right shape. There's a slight bit of overlap here. Now what I could do is cut some more out of the car to sort of make it into a butt weld, or just leave it as an overlap. And there's a slight bit of overlap there, but you know, nothing major. And then I've got this corner and this corner, which will need to be either cut off and then a separate piece welded in to those holes, or just banged round once the rest of it is welded in. But yeah, I think that shape is pretty cool. It's not gonna, you know, fill back in the area that I've cut out for clearance. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to have this bit overlapped this side and then that bit sort of underlapped, but possibly. But yeah, it's pretty much the right shape. And I think, you know, if I was to weld this side on, as I mentioned earlier, it would be something like that. And then I can bash this bit of the tunnel in to meet it, which will make this part of the gearbox have even more clearance. So yeah, that's the driver's side, but the passenger side one is actually a bit better. So similar principle in terms of, you know, getting this side welded on and then, you know, tapping the other side so that it meets properly. But it looks like this side, oh, it looks like on this one, it could end up being pretty much a butt weld here. It's hard to do and hold the camera, but I think you can sort of see where I'm going with it. And yeah, it looks to be roughly the right shape. Now, I am clearly no fabricator, and I know loads of you guys that watch this channel are pretty good at fabricating, so sorry if this is making your eyes sore, but yeah, I can now see the light at the end of the tunnel. All right, so I've had a bit of a tidy up, and my beautiful girlfriend Kat will be here soon to pick me up. But before I go today, I think I want to have a go at removing this battery tray. It doesn't even hold the battery anymore. This battery is held in with this bracket, and you know, it gets in the way when it comes to taking the engine out and stuff, although a little bit less now that I've cut this corner out. But with that corner cut out, it just looks an absolute eyesore, and as I say, it's not actually doing anything. And this should only be held in by a few spot welds, so I'm going to whip the battery out and then we'll see if we can drill said spot welds out. With the battery disconnected and removed from the engine bay, it was time to locate the spot welds that hold the battery tray to the inner wing. So yeah, I think I can make out the spot welds now. One there, one there, one there, one there. There's quite a few. Now you can get a proper spot weld drill, but I don't have one. So I'm going to be basically drilling right through and drilling through the inner wing as well. But realistically, there's going to be rust in between the two bits of metal, so I don't think it's going to matter having a few extra holes there. And the way the battery's mounted, it covers it anyway. When I do the paintwork on the tunnel, once I've welded those bits in, I could, you know,
give the battery tray area a little bit of a clean where the rust is and put some paint on.
I set about drilling out where I thought the spot welds were, and I used a hammer and chisel to try and separate the battery tray from the inner wing.
Do the ones on this support first.
With the lower support piece disconnected, I then moved back to the top of the battery tray, disconnecting it one spot weld at a time. Then there was just 2 spot welds right at the front, and then I was able to wiggle it free.
Lovely.
And just like that, Esther's battery tray is removed. Inner wing definitely looks a bit of a state with all these holes, but ultimately there was going to be a line of rust there anyway, so I don't really think it matters that there's a few holes there as well. The battery will cover up all that mess anyway, but yeah, I will do some sort of treating on this area. Yeah, at least sort of grind away the surface rust, maybe chuck some fiberglass filler or sealer in the holes and then just touch up the paint. I noticed down here it seems like from the factory they used a blob of weld rather than a spot weld, so that bit was a bit tricky. But yeah, should have done this years ago before I painted the car. Anyway, my beautiful girlfriend is here to pick me up, along with my dad. Say hello.
Hello.
So yeah, time to get Esther back in her garage and get out of here.
Hello, into a new day and the postman's bin.
I've now got these backing bowls that I need for the headlights on Maud, my Maud Mk1 Escort.
And yeah, once I've fitted those, I'll be able to get her new headlights fitted properly and adjusted, and then I'll be able to get her back on the road. I was actually planning to do that in this video, but I want to get this video out today, so I'm going to be cracking on with that next time.
These are actually the same type bowls that Esther has got on her headlights,
and Esther actually has the same headlights as the ones that I recently fitted to Maud. Some of you guys have been in touch to let me know about some backing bowls that also include some black rings for the front of the headlights, and they also include the adjusters. So yeah, if I'd have known about them sooner, I would have bought them. But seeing as I've already bought these backing bowls, and seeing as I've got Gary Ball to make me some carbon fibre front rings, I'm going to be using these. But yeah, massive thanks as always to everyone who gets in touch with advice.
Now, another thing I've had through the post are these stickers. Now, these are the official Marcus Hayes The Ford Show Club Stand stickers,
and they are only available to you guys that are joining me on my club stand at the Ford Show on the 16th of July. Going to be giving them away to all you guys that are joining me on the stand. And now those stickers have come through the post, it means I can post those and your stand passes out to you. If you could all drop me an email to confirm that you've received your stand passes and stickers, that would be great. Now, I've actually got just a week and a couple of days to get Esther ready for that show. And yeah, now that I've sort of got the plates semi-ready, the next stage is to weld those in. And then once that's done and the paintwork's done, I can then just bolt her back together. I do have something on its way to me for her new dash, because I'll need to obviously put her interior back together as well. So running out of time, but I think I will have her ready in time. But for now, I'm going to end this video here. If you did think it was any good, please do give it a thumbs up and a share. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Click subscribe if you're new to keep up to date with all my future uploads. Check out my website for merchandise and parts. Feel free to follow me on Facebook, TikTok and Instagram. Massive, massive thanks to all my patrons for your ongoing support. I will, of course, leave all the links to all of that in the description, along with my email address for anyone who wants to contact me. But other than that, until next time, thanks for watching.